Hello everyone, welcome back to your English language class. Today we are going to learn about how to solve an unseen passage, or we can also say how to solve a comprehension over there. Right? Now, let's begin with a comprehension over there. While solving the comprehension over there, we should follow step by step things over there. The very first thing is you must have a pencil while reading out the comprehension over there so that it can guide you from line to line over there, which will keep you on the point that where you are reading it. While reading out, you have to see that what's the main idea that is represented over there in that very comprehension or the passage, we can say what the main idea is and how those ideas are supported by the different examples over there, or we can say the central idea followed by the different ideas over there which are going to prove right the central point of the passage. Thus, while reading out the passage, you have to mark out some phrases or the words which seems important to you at that time of the reading over there. And then at the last, you can go to the section of the questions, and while answering the question, we have to be very specific that we have to write the answers of those questions only according to the information which is presented in the passage, not according to our own viewpoints over there, right? Because sometimes the information which is given in the passage may have a contrast with our views over there. Our opinions might be changed, but we are not supposed to write our opinions over there. We are only supposed to answer the questions on the basis of the information which is given in the passage. Let's see this very following passage and then we will be able to understand it. Let's first of all read it. The epic poem Beowulf, written in the Old English, is the earliest existing Germanic epic and one of four surviving Anglo-Saxon manuscripts. Although Beowulf was written by an anonymous Englishman in Old English, the tale takes place in the part of the Scandinavia from which Germanic tribes emigrated to England. Beowulf came from Greatland, the southern part of what is now Sweden. Holger, king of Danes, lives near what is now Leir on Zealand, Denmark's largest island. The Beowulf epic contains three major tales about Beowulf and several minor tales that reflect a rich Germanic oral tradition of myths, legends, and folklore. So, from the first paragraph, it's very much clear that this very passage is about Beowulf, which has been an epic poem. And then it has been explained that this very epic poem is from which very particular part of the country or the place or the world itself, right? Then how this Beowulf epic, what it is about? It is about three major tales, right? About the Beowulfs and other than several minor tales which will be based on the traditions of the myths, legends, and the folklores of the Germanic people over there. Then comes the Beowulf warrior have a foot in both the Bronze and Iron Ages. Their mead halls reflect the wealthy living of the Bronze Age Northmen, and their wooden shield, wood shafted, and spears, and the bronze hitted swords are those of the Bronze Age warriors. Now in these lines they have justified their point over there that how it belongs to both the ages over there, bronze age as well as the iron age. They have certified it by giving some examples over there that they are having some things which particularly represented those very ages over there. Iron replaced bronze because it produced a blade with the cutting edge that was stronger and sharper. The Northmen learned how to forge iron in about 500 BC. Although they had been superior to the European Celts in the bronze work, it was the Celts who taught them how to make and design ironwork. Iron was accessible everywhere in Scandinavia, usually in form of bog iron found in the layers of peat in the peat bogs. Now you can see that there are highlighted words anonymous and accessible. Sometimes we might be knowing the exact meaning of the words, right? But sometimes we might not be knowing. But you do not need to lose your concentration at that very point, because you have, after reading it, you will get a slight idea that in which very particular situation it is used over there, and you can guess its meaning over there, right? Then the identity of the Beowulf poet is also uncertain. He apparently was a Christian who loved the pagan heroic traditions of his ancestors and blended the values of the pagan hero with the Christian values of his own country and time. Because he wrote in the Andean dialect, he probably was either a monk in the monastery or a poet in the Anglo Saxon court located north of the Thames River. Beowulf entranced contemporary readers for many reasons. First, it is an outstanding adventure story. Grendel, Grendel's mother, and the dragon are marvelous characters, and Catch Fight is unique, action packed, and exciting. Second, Beowulf is a very appealing hero. He is the perfect warrior, combining extraordinary strength, skill, courage, and loyalty. Like Hercules, he devotes his life in making the world a safer place. He chooses to risk death in order to help other people, and he faces his inevitable death with heroism and dignity. Third, the Beowulf is interested in the psychological aspects of human behavior. For example, the Danish hero's welcome speech illustrates his jealousy of Beowulf. The behavior of Beowulf's warrior in the dragon fight reveals his cowardice. Beowulf's attitude toward heroism reflects his maturity and experience, while King Hogger's attitude toward life shows the experience of an angel nobleman. Finally, the Beowulf poet exhibits a mature appreciation of the transitory nature of human life and achievement. In Beowulf, as in the major epics of the other cultures, the hero must create a meaningful life in a world that is often dangerous and uncaring. He must accept the inevitability of the death. He chooses to reject despair. Instead, he takes pride in himself and his accomplishments, and he values human relations. So, this was your passage over there. While reading the entire passage, try to note down few points in your mind itself, that what this passage is about, which are the things that are supported in this very passage, and what is the central idea of this very passage. Now see, the very first question will be, give the meaning of the following words used here over there. You can judge it from the usage of that very word in the passage over there, that in which very sense it might have been used, right? Next comes the cautions. What story does the Beowulf epic contain? What was the story that it is having? We have already read it. It was having three major stories, right? About Beowulf and several other stories which was related to their myths and legends. Now keep it in your mind that while answering the questions of the passage, always answer the questions in your own words. Never exactly copy paste the lines of the passage until those are asked. Sometimes they can ask you which line in the passage justifies this very point. At that very place, you can write the exact line of that very passage. Other than that, all the answers should be in your own words and brief. Brief means to the point only. Okay, the exact answer for the exact question. See the second question. Where is the story of Beowulf set? Where was it set? It was in where it, though the Beowulf comes from the Great Land, it is in Sweden, but the story is set in Zealand, right? The actual answer for the actual question, direct answer. Third question is, what can we deduce about the Beowulf poet? Which are the things which you can say or tell about the Beowulf poet? Which are those things? In the passage itself, it was very much clear that it is not certain, it's not sure that this is the very particular poet, but few things were told about that very poet. What was it? That he can be a monk in a monastery or in an Anglo-Saxon court located north of the river Thames. He blended the Christian values of his time with the heroic stories from the folklore of the past. Those very things which were told in the passage about the poem, we will simply write that. Please try to read the passage once again and try to solve the answers in your own words over there, right? Now, the most important part of this very passage is also the very last caution, which is that in not more than 60 words of your own, explain why the Beowulf epic interests readers even today. The summary, right? But most probably it's not the summary every time over there. They can ask you a particular area of the passage over there, or they can ask you different questions depending upon the passage itself. Only some cases they can ask you to summarize the entire content of over there. While writing this very answer, we have to be very careful. The question which they have asked should be very clear cut to the point, but it should have a proper beginning and a proper ending. And also see that there's a condition that it should not be more than 60 words over there, right? So only we can add most probably 2 to 3 words just to conclude our answer over there, not more than that. But first of all, we should practice it and we should try to finish it up within the 60 words word limit only over there. Your words should only be 60 in total. Now, what was the caution? That in not more than 60 words, you have to explain that why Beowulf epic interests readers even today. In your passage, it was clearly answered over there that why it is very much interesting for today's reader also. What was that? It's an interesting story, right? Characters are unique, fights are action packed. Beowulf the warrior combines strength, skill, courage, and loyalty. He risks his life for others and faces death with dignity. The psychological aspect of human behavior are accurate. The theme of the transitory nature of human existence compared to the importance of human achievement is attractive. Different reasons that why this very poem is interesting for today's today's people or the readers also in this very age itself. Why we will read a poem? Only if it will be interesting. So we have to mention those very interesting points of this very poem to justify our answer. So practicing for it, what we can do is we can divide our section like I have divided over here into a box. We can first of all construct one box having different sections over there. Then you can write it so that it will be in directly 60 words over there. In limit it will be. It is very easy if we are going to practice it like that. Thus, solve different passages along with the different cautions as well as the summary itself. Only by practicing it, things will work out. So, thank you and keep studying.